All right, welcome back to The Woody Show, everybody. I had the craziest thing happen to me.
Yeah?
Well, I went to go take a leak during the commercial break.
That is crazy.
I was walking out of the bathroom as somebody else was walking into the bathroom, and I crossed paths with Joel McHale.
The Joel McHale!
We love that guy.
Nope.
And I said,
no, I'm Matthew Lillard.
and I said, and this happens a lot because we have all these radio stations here, and there's always somebody around.
Right.
And I usually cross paths with people in the bathroom. Like, remember William H. Macy?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't even realize that I was taking a leak next to William H. Macy. It was crazy.
I was so lucky.
And then did you invite him on the show midstream?
We did.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we're not shy.
We
don't care.
That's great. I would probably get stage fright.
Well, so I said, Joel, you got to come by the show. It's just 5 minutes. We begged and we pleaded, and it turns out that
they had a little bit of cash left.
Joel is more than happy to come by. So, ladies and gentlemen, an impromptu guest,
All
Joel
right.
McHale is here.
That guy!
All right, so of course you remember Joel McHale from The Soup,
Oh, yeah.
and so let me ask you a question.
New Joel McHale show with Joel McHale on
With
Netflix,
Joel McHale.
everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
Totally different than The Soup.
yeah, right. So where does that air, or where can we watch that?
It's a little
It's a new
streaming
show.
service called Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of
I've
them.
heard of
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
It's going to be popular someday.
Yeah, it's they're
thing.
trying. They've got a few original programming up there. We'll see if this streaming stuff works.
Like, how cool is it though working with Netflix? Because I've heard a lot of people say like how liberating.
Like
and-
creative freedom and that kind of
It's
stuff.
it's like a self-landing rocket. It's that's how far into the future they are. It's great. There's no rules.
Yeah.
And they were like, "How long?" I was like, "How long should the show be?" And they were like, "How long do you
Whatever.
want it to be?"
No way.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
'Cause they don't have to worry about advertisers or whatever. It's just people either watch or they don't.
Yeah. And I said, and you can say, you can't say that here.
No,
Right.
you
I know
can't.
that.
You cannot.
You can say, and
Right.
no one cares.
Yeah.
And they've been. It is. I mean, now I'm gonna sound like I'm kissing their ass, which I am. They're paying
As
me.
you should.
Yeah.
But the support has been. They actually arranged for you to be at the bathroom when I was there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, they are
they
that
made
good.
a
That good.
subconscious suggestion.
Yeah.
They made Woody pee.
Yes, they made. So
incredible.
the support's been crazy and
But you don't have to worry about like ratings or anything, right? Because
Nope.
they don't release any of those audience numbers for things. Or
No,
whatever.
I think no one knows.
That is so rad.
Yeah. And then,
Incredible.
and they also like with the Orange is the New Black, the president liked it so much before it aired, he picked it up for a second season
Yeah.
before it ever aired.
Wow.
That's cool.
Fantastic.
So like what?
Thank you, Ted Sarandos. He's the president.
So then like what keeps you like driven and like focused? Because if you're not worried about like ratings or sponsors or things like that, is it just
Money.
money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
That's fair enough.
How that
No,
coming in.
what makes you? Well, I mean, I
Because sometimes
like
people
doing.
thrive
I mean,
under pressure.
Oh, I know. I just like I wanted to tell jokes.
Yeah.
Because we found like footage of Korean soap operas where people throw themselves in
Right.
front of cars, and I said, "This must be broadcast. We must tell the world."
Yeah.
And it was all it was a number of people that worked on the Soup before, and some of my friends that wrote everything else with me, and I was able to bring it together and. So you get to hang out with your friends all day,
Right.
Which I'm sure you're all
Right,
friends.
exactly.
Or maybe,
Absolutely.
That's
maybe you
what we
hate
do.
each other, but
No,
you're
no.
Sometimes.
No.
But so it was, and they agreed. So I believe me, I've always liked doing a show like that. So it was very fun.
No, that's awesome, man. Joel McHale's here.
Yeah, I
Can we
downloaded
do-
it.
Oh,
I
go
watched
ahead.
the first episode on the plane. I was flying over the weekend. I
Sweet.
loved it.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're back doing this type
Did you
of
like
format.
the part where they said what they call kids
I
in that
loved-
Afrikaan language?
In the Afrikaan language?
Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
Oh, well, it rhymes with bunt.
Yes.
Boy, it was a real memorable episode. for you.
Yeah, right.
Wow, really synced
You
Well,
sure
I
you
know
weren't
that I
watching The Great
couldn't.
Indoors? My
Loved it
show
that much.
was-
No, right.
Can we do? Because I listen to your show, and when you guys do the news,
yeah.
can can you read a story, and I would like to be a part of.
Sure.
Oh,
Because
That'd
be cool.
I want to do
Yeah.
an impression of what you guys do.
Hold on.
All
Do
right.
you?
when you're
No way.
reading. Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. Do you really listen to the show,
Yeah,
or do
you'll
you?
lying?
find out in 1 second.
okay. Cool.
Or do
I
you?
mean, did she really watch the show?
I
That-
absolutely
She didn't
did.
remember
I
the
said,
bunt line.
are you a listener of our show much the way that Ravy watched your show?
Right.
That was the question.
That's what we're
Get
gonna
it.
figure out
You'll
right
see.
now.
You'll
Yeah.
see in a second.
right.
So
Yeah.
start reading
Okay.
whatever the next kicker teaser story. Or I
Okay.
guess just one of the many. And then you do what you guys do.
Okay.
And then I will be a part of
All right.
you
All
guys.
right.
Okay, here we go. Time for some news.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
But you're familiar with it. So.
Here's a story. A dead whale recently washed up on a beach in Chile.
Oh, hey, when that happens.
Dead whale?
Oh, whales.
Right. They're mammals.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And Greg, tell me if this is romantic or not.
Okay.
Some hopeless romantic carved "Anne, I love you" into the side of the dead whale.
Oh.
You
man.
can't defame a dead body of a whale.
Yeah. I'm right with
disgusting.
Greg on this one.
It's disgusting.
Who's with me? Yeah. Huh? Oh, man.
He
gosh.
does listen
Can
to the
you
show.
believe this?
Dude,
Oh, man.
Nailing it.
What would Menace say right here?
Yeah, I'm with Greg as well.
What?
Okay. So then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't get it. I mean, ladies, would that melt the panties off you? Like, Ravi, if some guy carved, like, "I love you, Ravi," into the side of a whale, you just be...
That would not work.
If Joel
Stacked off
McHale
your
did
feet.
it, she
no, I
would.
agree with Ravi. That would
Yeah.
not
That
work.
would
Not
not
work. I
work.
wouldn't do
I agree
that.
as well.
I mean,
Yes.
that's crazy, but it's crazy love, right?
So what I'm
Yeah.
gathering is that you hate the show.
Yeah.
How would I hate the
man.
show? The shows
If that's
I
what
love
we
it.
sound like, I'm ready to quit and commit suicide.
What? No. First
sucks.
of all,
It's awful.
parody and copy is one of the highest
It's-
compliments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flattering.
And
Yep.
this is the finest chorus on radio.
Right.
Because I will do a thing like, how many sentences is he going to get through before he's interrupted?
Not even
And-
one.
Right. And then, so they'll be
Yeah.
like, you guys see this? There's a new flavor of Coke coming out. What?
Yeah,
What? Oh, I love Coke. Coke's great. I mean, who doesn't like Coke? It's great. I mean, it's no Pepsi, but it's Coke. And then you'd be like, one sentence into the story, he stopped.
Then we talk
awesome.
about food for an hour.
Yeah.
But
True.
it is, it may, I mean, you're reading stories the way that people talk about them
That's true.
in life, where
Yeah.
it's a back and forth. You're not just obviously a news rip, but
We are
but you
not a
should
news
not
rip.
be like, oh, is this what we sound like?
Yeah.
No, this is what I sound like on your show.
Okay.
So you wouldn't want me there.
Yeah.
I would love to have you here.
So if you listen to the show, like, what stands? Like, what do you like? Is there anything like? What's your favorite thing that you've heard on the
The
show?
news reading?
Well, besides the news reading,
Oh,
do you have like
I,
a segment or whatever that you like?
no.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
A segment that
is
you don't like.
I drive my 9-year-old
Okay.
to one. I have a 13-year-old, but I drive him to school.
Yeah.
So we have a finite amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you say things that are inappropriate.
Sure.
And then I have to turn
Because
it off.
it's not a program for children. Like, do your
Yeah.
kids watch your show? Like,
Yeah, they love.
Okay.
They love the C word.
they do? Okay. With all the filthy language.
There's things they can, but they watched all the Community, and I'm
Yeah.
making out with all sorts of people who aren't their mom.
Did
Rip.
they watch
Yeah.
Ted?
They have not seen
Yeah,
Ted.
that's a
Ted,
little much
Ted
for
can
kids.
be.
I liked your character on the X-Files. Did they see that?
They had no interest in the X-Files. So
that
they have
ruled.
no.
Yeah.
They have no interest in most of my stuff.
Yeah.
So
Community, though, they liked?
They liked Community because they liked Troy and Abed.
Of course.
And they liked Chang, and so they got into that. And
that
they
funny?
also they like Rick and Morty. And then I found
Yes.
out I was like, sure, you can watch Rick and Morty. It's a cartoon. And then
Oh,
Mike was
it
like,
is
they
dark.
cannot watch that. And so I was like, Dan Harmon, if you're listening, eventually they can watch.
Is
it.
that
But
crazy? Aren't kids
Yeah.
pricks that way? Like, they have a cool dad and don't even appreciate it. You hear that all the time from like big actors or musicians or whatever. Like, your parent is this big deal, like, and doing
Well.
all these really cool things, and the kids just don't even care. They're like,
I think
"Ugh."
it's cool when kids are like that because
like,
it's just he's just dad to them.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
don't you realize?
I think it's cool.
it would
I
be
agree,
weirder if
Greg.
the
because
kid,
so many
like,
people have.
right?
Well, wouldn't it be weird if the kid like worshipped the parents?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
And
So
treated
Dad,
them like
well,
a celebrity.
Who did you meet last week? You know, like
Yeah.
No, but
That's
it's
so
like
cool though. You were in that movie.
so many kids have lame parents. You know what I mean? Like, where they're, I don't know, they're boring people. They don't do anything exciting, and
well, yeah.
You know?
I mean, growing up, the coolest dad, Mr. Cusack, and he was Jason's dad, was an FBI agent.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
And
cool.
They would be like, we literally be like, "Do you have a gun?" And he'd be like, "Yep." And then he'd show us. And then
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Dad runs around with a gun.
Joel McHale is here. I did have a question about the soup, and I know you're moving on to other things, but like, is it true? The Kardashians were like a subject that was like, they pretty much told you to keep it
Yeah,
So
that's all
I'll
over
keep
the
it
news right now.
tamed down.
Well,
like, don't rip the Kardashians too much.
This shows you the penetration that
Mhm.
Netflix has. So I have been telling this story for 10 years. And I have said many interviews, I'm like, yeah, well, they don't like us and they ask us to stop. But so Chris would call, this is early on when The Soup and the Kardashians had similar ratings. That changed. And it worked out for the Kardashians.
Sure.
And so we'd make fun of them, and then she would call and be like, he's doing it again. And then much like, then the president would be like, hey, can you lay off them for a week because they're pissed. And so it was kind of like throwing our baseball into someone else's lawn.
Right.
And then he'd be like, and he was really cool about it. Then we'd go back, but then the last administration, the one that's there now, asked us to stop making fun of them. And that to me, I was like, oh, we're not going to be around for it. This is the end.
Wow.
And so because one of the reasons why the show worked is because we could call the network we're on ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's why it was part of the fun, is that we could like I would even say like, welcome to The Soup on the network. And Ted Harbert was so cool about it. And but then things changed.
Right.
But
You
now
get somebody in there with a sense of humor. Yeah, it sucks.
they don't care.
Like you said, no rules.
Yeah, no rules and
Just right.
Yeah, which is awesome. All right, so Joel McHale's here. Quickly, I know you got to go because you're doing all these interviews and you got things.
I got to get over to Mario Lopez, guys.
Yeah,
Someone that matters.
He's a boxer, so don't make him upset.
For the people who haven't heard much about the show yet, what's your elevator pitch on the new show for people who want to check it out?
Okay, have you seen the show This Is Us? It's a lot like that, but with a green screen. No, if you're old enough, older people will remember The Soup because it's weird because people
love
are like,
it.
were you on a show 2 years ago? And that's when it went off. But now it's the world. So we make fun of the Korean soap opera thing was people when they're very distraught in Korea on soap operas, they throw themselves in front of
Hurl
cars.
themselves.
They do. And we had way too much of it. They were like, we've been gathering clips for 2 months, and it was like, we have half an hour of just this.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're also making fun of streaming service shows and obviously like Stranger Things and all that. So it's a much more expanded universe.
And then how often does the show come out? It's like
once a week for the next 12 weeks.
I'm gonna watch the hell out of
Hopefully
it.
we'll be picked up for more, but or I'll be calling you guys.
Sweet.
All right.
Excellent.
And I could
clearly,
get you coffee and stuff. And
no, clearly you'd be perfect to come in and fill in during the news.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yes.
I feel
You
like
nailed it.
I feel if you should be, you made something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And you were like, if this is what I sound like, I want to kill myself.
Right.
You should be happy. I feel like this is nobody has done this the way you have done it.
No.
So
Okay. Well, here we'll try one more.
If it's any consolation, I make fun of everyone. I'm not really
So
making
do
fun, but
we.
even like my mom would be like, I can't tell. When I was a kid, she'd be like, I can't tell you're being serious. And I was
Right.
like, I can't either. And I was like, I don't even know if I'm being serious or
Well,
not.
you know how it's weird? Like, you see yourself in the mirror and you see one thing, and then you see a photograph of yourself and it looks like
vomit.
something completely
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
Or you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror, like before you go into the shower. At least I do, because Menace, you can
so
feel me, blood.
depressing.
We look like those whales that people carve
carving I love you in.
the love you notes into.
We're not going to disagree. But the thing is,
Oh, damn.
but it's way better to have to have some self-loathing and self-affect
Yeah.
as
We got plenty
opposed
of
to the a-holes that
Yeah.
are like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So full
I'm
of
Thank you
themselves.
again, mirror. You're welcome for what you're seeing. This mirror should be framed and put in a museum.
Yeah.
But those people are disturbed and awful. So it's way better to go.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Here, we'll
Because
try one more story.
You don't walk out of every show and go, nailed it again.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Every show we're like, that was
Do
awful.
we send it to the Smithsonian now?
Right.
Or
Honestly,
do we want to send them a group?
Yeah.
I think I drive everybody crazy because I'm constantly thinking about the show and reflecting
Right.
and thinking about different things. I think these guys are so over me sending my notes to everybody because I'll say, look, guys, the honest truth is we're not as bad as I think we are, and we're not nearly as good as you guys think we are.
He doesn't just do that in notes, though. He'll send it publicly.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, I get paranoid because he's like, great, tell the world that you don't think our show is good.
Well,
Right.
we say it on
and
the
then
air,
I get mad.
but we say it on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But you being in the position of power, you have to be able to self-reflect like that. And I hope you can give him notes. Right?
Sometimes,
We
or I
do.
just internalize and self-loathe.
I
he's
agree, I just don't
non-confrontational.
make
He
it
goes,
public.
"Yeah, you're right. Yeah."
Oh, yeah, you're right, Woody.
Yeah.
We're terrible.
Here, Joel. I know you love doing the. I love you love doing the news thing. I'm gonna give.
I
you
love
one,
the news.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you one more story. Here we go with Joel
Let's do it.
McHale.
You guys got to
news.
do it with me.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Problems at the Hobby Lobby, you guys.
Oh,
The Hobby
so-
Lobby.
not the Hobby Lobby.
The Hobby. Oh man, I love that place.
That's
I go
where
there
I
all
buy
the
all
time.
my
Have you guys
Problems at the
been
Hobby
there?
Lobby.
Oh man, I love how they rhyme.
Hobby
the name.
Lobby. And their
The-
glue guns.
The employees are sick of the high school kids coming in because apparently the new trend is for your senior picture, you go into the Hobby Lobby flower section, and then that's where you take your picture for the senior
Are you
picture.
Oh,
serious?
what a cheap way
Seniors
out.
pictures, seniors. What I remember? Were you guys ever seniors?
Yeah, we wore tuxedos.
Yeah.
Shoot.
In the picture.
Just we're up to. He's had 2 sentences, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how. What? That's
Yeah.
this. Okay, keep going. Keep
Did
going.
you wear a tux in your senior portrait?
Man, this is again. I know this is a great story, but he's only had 2 sentences. Let him read the news.
Joel McHale, everybody. Good luck with the show. Check it out on
Thank
Netflix.
you.
I'm glad we didn't cross streams. We crossed paths.
Yes.
Yes.
But thank
In and out of
thank
the
you for
bathroom.
letting me also thank you for letting me promote the show.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Watch it.
I know that you guys have left the Earth and are now reaching
Yes.
the solar system.
That's
so,
right.
Thank you.
You guys, when Matt Damon was listening to you on The Martian, I thought that was
Yeah, that'd
pretty,
be really
Yeah,
cool,
that was
right?
Very
really
timely.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
thank
It's
you
the
for
Woody Show.
promoting.